Y'all know I'm about to go back on a hiatus, right? But I didn't want to go before covering this because I'm noticing that a lot of people aren't bringing it up. And I understand that we have our own busy lives in the United States. But given that they're saying that hurricane season is going to come soon this year, at least that's what they're predicting, and I put the video out, it's fitting that I talk about this. Close to 2,000 people been unalived as a result of an earthquake in two countries. By the time you're listening, you should have seen the flags of both of those countries. First, I started with Thailand, and the second one, Myanmar. While Myanmar has a military junta, to my knowledge, Thailand is where a lot of Americans go to expat as well as people from other Western countries. My sympathies go out to the families who lost loved ones. Asia is very beautiful. I've only ever been to Japan and Malaysia, but that doesn't matter. We know Japan gets some bad weather as well. 2011 proved that. Okay. This is what I'm going to say, and please, if you're an expat, don't take this the wrong way. When you move to countries that have this kind of weather, understand that earthquakes can set off tsunamis and fires and other destruction. I don't have to tell you all this, is self-explanatory. Of course, with the tsunamis is going to come flooding, right? Ask yourself the question, whatever property you have in countries that are prone to this type of weather, what are your rights once things are washed away? Because when you leave the United States, for example, although this is a crappy deal, you still have rights because you are a citizen here. How do you handle and navigate natural disasters when you are an expat in those countries? Do you have mastery of the language? That's the first question I'll ask, because knowledge is power, and if you're going to live in those places, while you may not want to be fluent, you want to know just enough to live your everyday life and get around. It defeats the purpose to go to Thailand and not learn the language or languages, because I'm sure they have more than one language in Thailand. So do you have mastery of the language? If right now you're in any country that's prone to this type of weather, even if you are a service member or a person that just moved to Japan, can you speak Japanese? Although this only happened in Myanmar, which I don't think a lot of expats, because of the military junta, are living in Myanmar. Mastery of the language segues to my second point. Knowing the language may also allow you to have interest groups there. Do you know people who are local that are willing to help you when these things happen? Look, I'm concerned about the locals there, but remember, because they're local to that economy and to that country, they have a different set of resources. Okay? My final point, have you all made a plan for what you plan to do if, say, you live near the beach or on a fault line in those countries? Of course, people can be nonchalant and say, well, stuff just happens and life just happens, but it's just good for you to plan. I am a proponent that if people want to leave the United States, they can. I don't understand these people hating on people for wanting to be expats. Me, myself, I'm an American. This is my country, and this is where I pretty much plan to stay. But that is just me. However, if you know you're not going to stay in this country and you're going to go to another country where natural disasters are an occurrence and can happen, like typhoons, hurricanes, things like that, it's no different than being in the States. Do you have a contingency plan in place? in case something goes down? Do you have a backup, even if that means flying out of the country after the fact and coming back to the States, or if you plan to stay? Do you know where the hospitals are? Do you know where the embassy may be if you needed to go speak to the embassy, whether you were coming back or not? Because I didn't realize I was going to wake up to this morning, and my empathies go out to everyone and sympathies to everyone involved, whether people were unalived or lived through it. See, the reason I made this video is that preparedness has nothing to do with the country you live in, but everything to do with understanding your environment. And that includes if you are an expat. Learn your surroundings, and if it didn't happen to you and you are in these two countries, go and make an effort to meet locals as friends. Expand your network so that when these things happen, you'll have some locals and someone that can help you navigate your life post-disaster. I woke up to this and it was very sad. I pray for these two countries, and I want all citizens who are citizens of those countries, as well as our expats, to be okay. Try to be safe and look out for each other. And hopefully you may take my advice about trying to learn the language and build community in the community that you've moved to. All right, thank you. Have a good day.